Hello and welcome to another episode of eScoot Talks. So if you were watching my last video, you might say, well, Robbie, what are you doing with exactly the same scooter? Well, this is Navee S65 and last time I was on Navee S65. So since this is gonna be hour and a half joy, then let's jump on a scooter straight away and start off, because I have to admit, doing a range test is pretty boring. It really is. So the difference between S65 and S65C is that this is 48 volt system with a geared motor, where S65C is 36 volt system with a brushless motor. So I'm actually quite curious, is geared motor maybe increasing max range? Now, both scooters are classified as 65 kilometer range per a single charge. But of course, that's in eco mode, it's actually kind of done in a way we can guarantee that you'll do 65, but you might get maybe even more or less or whatever. Now, I'm properly equipped today. I have gloves. I hope that the camera is recording at proper angle, and I hope that the video is not going to be too boring, but of course I'm going to speed up some parts, or maybe I might even actually just chop them out, because last time my camera died earlier and I hardly managed to squeeze a video into 20 minutes, and I'm not planning to make this video last 25 minutes or even half an hour. So for those who didn't check that video, we managed to do 35 kilometers and we had 10% battery left. I know roughly where our bars were dropping down, so hopefully we're gonna be getting the same or maybe even better. Now we have a little bit of a disadvantage today, because unfortunately this scooter has a slow puncture on the rear wheel. It's roughly a year-old scooter, but it has only 70 kilometers on the clock, because it really hasn't been driven too much at all. It was more sitting than on the road, so we might even have a chance of battery actually degrading because of sitting and not being used too much. We'll see at the end, because question is are gears in the motor just increasing torque, because this scooter is more torquey, and because of that, does it get a better range, or maybe it gets worse range because those gears are also making a resistance? You can actually probably hear a bit of a noise coming out of the motor. It sounds like a RC car. It can be annoying, but it can also be handy, especially if you have pedestrians in front of you or people are running in a cycle track that I unfortunately can see quite often. So it can be handy regarding that, but sometimes it can be pretty annoying. So I think we can speed the video up now, and I'll get back to you a little bit later, if not earlier than latest, when we drop to 4 bars. Last time we did a little bit over 1 lap when we got to 4 bars, then we got to 3 bars after lap and a quarter, because we have 3 roundabouts. So I'm counting that this roundabout that we are approaching now, that roundabout is actually quarter of a lap. I think this is probably gonna be the most accurate range test comparison that we can do between these two scooters. The only difference is gonna be I'm not gonna now miss that second roundabout, and like I'm gonna do proper laps. But yeah, for the future I think I'm gonna do my range tests a little bit differently. Okay, so we are down to 4 bars just now, roughly almost at the same place where it dropped down by 1 bar in the last test, but last time we did a little bit more because I missed the roundabout. So that seems that we actually might get less range with the geared motor, and I think we're probably gonna see that pretty soon, probably a couple of more laps, and we'll see how things look like. But so far they don't look too well, unfortunately. Now, one other thing that I actually forgot to say earlier, there is one more advantage with the geared motor. With the geared motor, actually you can hear when you're going slightly uphill, when you're going up the incline, because the motor is going to will make a little bit louder noise, and when you're going slightly downhill there's not going to be almost any noise at all. But yeah, this is actually a little bit disappointing, because I was really hoping that, you know, this version 48 volt system is going to work better. But you know, we'll see. Let's give it a couple of more laps and we'll see. Within another 3 more laps, I think if this S65 can't hold that range, I think that's going to be clear within next, probably 3 laps. Because second drop should be a little bit over 1 lap from now, so we should get to that roundabout. If it drops to 3 bars before that roundabout, then we are definitely clear that we're gonna get less range, and I'm gonna I don't know, estimate maybe 30 kilometers. But you know, you can leave your guesses in the comments down below, of course. Wow, okay, so we dropped down to 3 bars way before a roundabout. So yeah, I think it looks like we're not gonna get a same range on S65 like we got on S65C. So now I don't think I'll be bothering with looking at bars. I'm just gonna continue riding till the battery drops to last bar, and then I'm gonna do an extra, I need to check, like 2 or 3 kilometers until each last bar shows red. That's when we stopped last time, and then we'll see what the app is gonna show us, how many kilometers we did. But yeah, definitely clearly less range, unless the indicator, battery indicator is off. But otherwise, yeah, unfortunately less range, because with S65C we actually dropped down to 3 bars at this roundabout. So roughly, I don't know, at least a couple of 100 meters later. Now, well, that might be because of gears, because gears are maybe making more resistance, and that's maybe draining battery faster. It might be also because I do have a slow puncture on the rear wheel, but since I'm not using this scooter too much, I never bothered even replacing a tire. Like, it's a year old and it has only 72 kilometers on the clock. Anyways, yeah, we'll continue. It's not that freezing like last time, but it's still cold. Also, like, temperature is 2 or 3 degrees less than last time, and I have a little bit more gear than last time. So it might be that, like, all this is affecting a little bit. But like, if we see, let's say, I don't know, 30 kilometer range, that's 5 kilometers difference. That's not a small difference. That's, quite not gonna say a lot, but like, you can definitely notice that, But I was also thinking about, something else now, this mid part of the video. So I'm not 100% sure how many of you will watch this, but I was just thinking, like, I prefer this 48 volt system because the battery is in aluminum casing, where 36 on S65C is just in a plastic wrap. And this is actually slightly bigger battery regarding capacity. So I was thinking, like, how interesting would be actually to move this battery and controller to S65C, like, to swap it. The only problem is, since this is a geared motor, I'm actually not sure what's the true RPM, and then how are gears actually increasing or reducing final RPMs of the actual rim, actual tire, So that's the only trick, but I actually might try to do that adventure and see what could I actually get. I don't know, I'll see. Anyways, let's continue test. At least it's not gonna be hour and a half like last time. It might be shorter. Yeah, guys, and I like this part. Stability on this scooter is pretty good. Like, I'm doing roundabout at the full speed. Like, I'm not even touching a brake. Like, I'm riding all this time in a cruise control mode, 25 kilometers per hour. So honestly, scooter is really stable. Like, okay, 25 kilometers maybe not crazy speed, but that's a pretty small roundabout. The roundabout at the start of the track where I'm starting, that one is bigger, but this one is quite small. Unfortunately, a battery in my camera didn't survive the full test again, so I had my power bank with me to recharge the camera, but by the time I finished with the range test, it was just way too dark outside, so I couldn't use that footage because you wouldn't see anything at all. We did manage to get 33.5 kilometers this time, and it is slightly lower, like 1.5 kilometer less than on S65C, but I have to admit I had a bit more gear with me because it was colder. The temperature was actually a little bit lower as well, and I needed to stop like 5 times during this test, so that's 5 accelerations, and acceleration is going to of course drain your battery much faster. So S65 or S65C, which one is better? I honestly like both. I'm still not sure which one I prefer more because like S65 has a battery in aluminum case, so I really don't need to worry about the water damage caused on a battery. Even if water would get in that battery compartment, like usually it wouldn't be able to affect the battery that easily. It can maybe shorten a controller, but not a battery. S65C has a battery only in a plastic wrap, and it's much smaller, makes like, there is much more space in a battery compartment. So if I want to play with a custom built battery for that scooter to get even better range, that's advantage there. uh, S65 has a geared motor, as I said, a bit more torque, and some people can, because they're not that popular on the road, so that sound of a RC car can sound annoying or funny. So some people on the road can look like, what's wrong with that scooter? What kind of rubbish you're riding, where you're actually having like a little bit more advanced scooter than majority of the commuter scooters out there on the road. But S65C is quieter. So both of them have their advantages. A bell, it's better. I prefer the bell on S65 over bell on S65C. So far, I'm really not sure which one I would pick up. For you, as I said, if you don't want to have any, worries about maybe water damage or whatever, S65 seems safer, but it is a bit noisy. If that noise annoys you and down the road you want to maybe get someone to build you a custom battery, then S65C. I'm also thinking of maybe doing a hill range test because I'm trying to find advantage of the geared motor, except for that a bit of a torque and noise. Something like, okay, maybe up the hill geared motor is going to perform better, so maybe we would get a better range, or maybe we will get a better speed. So let me know in the comments down below, do you want me to maybe do test like that? Or I'm also thinking maybe to do a range test on my Dualtron Mini. It is an older scooter with a bit older battery, so maybe that's going to be interesting. Anyways, if you want to support me, first of all, you can buy me a coffee, but the cheapest and easiest way for you to support me is to interact and help YouTube algorithm push my channel and push my videos to other viewers. So comment below any questions or video ideas, like and share, and if you still didn't, maybe consider subscribing. But till next time, please stay safe out there and respect other road users. Bye bye.